Right, what we're going to have a look at now is some of the more basic core abdominal trunk exercises. We use that word fairly interchangeably with abdominal movements in fitness instruction. I guess one of the commencement places for someone to do abdominal training is to lie flat on their back, and traditionally that is one of the ways that people have exercised that whole core region. What I want to show you is an exercise which we call a dead bug and the movements that work around that position. But essentially what we're trying to do here is get the client to understand the feeling of engaging their deep abdominal muscles. So we're talking about transversus abdominis, and we're talking about the internal and external obliques, not so much the rectus abdominis, which is involved primarily in flexion of the spine. So you'll see through the next series of exercises that Dale really doesn't have any spinal flexion. It's more about abdominal control. One starting point would be to have the client lying flat on their back, knees bent, and simply learning how to engage that deep abdominal muscle. So learning how to tense that deep abdominal muscle and brace themselves in that position, as well as breathe. So that's a skill in itself. Progressions from that point on is you could bring one leg up and just get them to get used to holding that leg, lowering that leg down, touching the floor, and then bringing it back up whilst maintaining that core or engaging that core. A progression again would be to have both legs up and just see if they could again maintain that engaged deep abdominal musculature, and then alternate the movement of legs as Dale is here. So one leg goes out, one leg stays up, and the client has to maintain that position. You'll know if they have or have not maintained that position just by looking at their lower back. They've got to keep that neutral spine. So they don't need to have their back flat against the floor. They still need to have that small lumbar curve, but that lumbar curve should not get bigger or should not get smaller. So if you place your hand just under there, you can sort of feel that lumbar curve. But that is what we call a dead bug and the variations around that movement.